Okay. Show me.
Hi there, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dutch Sheet channel for part 2 in my GAP RC build series. And if you haven't seen the first video, in this series we will be building a quadcopter out of this GAP RC AX4 Airbus frame, a carbon fiber quadcopter frame. And this quadcopter will be a little bit of an experimental build. I will be trying to build this quadcopter as light as possible. Now, there are links in the description of this video down below to all the components I'll be using, and some might surprise you. So go and have a look and actually tell me what you think of this list. Obviously the quadcopter isn't built yet, so I haven't flown it yet. We'll just see how this build works out. And like I said, this is part 2 of this build series, and in this video we will be taking a close look at this frame from, again, GAP RC. I haven't used their frames yet, so I'm interested to see how what the quality is like of these frames. These frames are, by the way, available in 4-inch, which I have over here, meant for 4-inch propellers, that means. It's also available as an AX5, which is, yes, it's for a 5-inch build, and it's also available as an AX6 for 6-inch props. So, let's first have a look at the packaging of this product and what comes with the frame. You are greeted by some decals. Oh, nice blue and red decals. That's very nice. You have a power distribution board with an XC60 connector. We'll have a close look at how that fits into the quadcopter later on, obviously. You get an LED board which has an UART connector, so you can actually program it. That is pretty nice. You get a assembly instructions sheet. Not really needed, I think. I mean, quadcopter can be assembled so many ways, but it looks pretty clear to me, so that's nice. You'll see in a minute how this slots into the frame, of course. These are available in several different colors, this frame part. A 3D printed part. And again, if you have a look at the link in the description to this frame, you'll see that it's available in green, as you can see here, in red, and maybe in some other color, I don't really know. And you get 2 straps, so one will be for the battery and one will be for your action camera. That's nice. That's very nice as well. You get, how many? 5 tie wraps. Very nice. I'm not sure what they are intended to be used for. Maybe for your receiver and your antenna. I'm not sure. We'll see. And all the other frame parts are bagged, as you can see. That's very nice. You get 4 arms. And the only real difference, by the way, between the AX4 and the AX5 and the AX6 is probably the length of these arms. And yeah, looks like, to me like it's 4 arms. So no spare, but you can order these separately. Okay, we get an upper and a lower plate, I assume these are. And you get some landing rubbers. That's pretty nice. This piece over here will probably go onto the bottom of the quadcopter to protect your LiPo from the screws on the frame. And there's another piece like that, probably for the same application. And these are the 2 side plates to the frame. So, what I will be doing right now is I will mock build it, so without the additional electronics. and then we'll have a close look at what that looks like. And there it is, my mock build of this GAP RC frame. Now the build was very straightforward. It took me about 15 minutes. So there were no fitment issues at all. The build was very straightforward. There were a few nice positive surprises for me while building this quadcopter's frame. And one minor, very minor setback, a negative thing. We'll get to that in a minute. And I haven't screwed down the upper structure, so I can take it off and show you what's on the inside. And let's see, yeah, the arms, and as you could see a minute ago, they are separate arms, so if you break an arm, you can replace one arm. That's nice. And they are pretty easy to replace as well. A couple of screws from the bottom and you can get to them. 4mm, and the carbon fiber, all carbon fiber on this frame looks of very good quality. There were no scratches. They are well cut out, so to speak. No, yeah, the edges feel very smooth as well. So I probably won't sand them down. Not really needed, I think. And again, everything fits together very nicely as well. Now I've got the PDB that's included with the frame mounted so that you get an XT60 connector on the side of your frame. You can opt to rotate it 90 degrees so you can route your LiPo wire, power wire through the back. You could. I'm not sure if I will do that, but that is definitely an option. Now, one very nice surprise, I hadn't seen that in the diagrams or in the pictures. This 3D printed piece, which is a flexible piece, as you could see, extends a little bit above the frame. And this is obviously where you'd mount your HD camera, GoPro Session for instance. And that gummy piece extending a little bit above the frame has your camera not in contact with the carbon fiber. So vibrations that might be in the frame won't get transferred into your camera. So that's very nice. FPV camera mount, yeah, you basically have a multitude of options. You've got a center hole and these grooves on the side. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to mount any kind of modern FPV camera in this frame that way. And obviously this gummy piece, 3D printed piece, shields the camera from impacts. That's very nice. Now let's actually take off the upper structure. Is that easy? Oh. Yeah, the fit is good and tight. Actually not that easy. I have just pressed it in, but okay, there. Okay, you've got this aluminium, red anodized aluminium piece in the center, which stiffens up your frame. That's very nice, a good idea, I think. The only real negative thing is that the frame doesn't come with standoffs or risers for your flight controller. Yeah, so if you order up this frame, be aware that you have to have those plastic or rubber risers, standoffs for your flight controller. Okay, after finishing up the build entirely, I found that actually the risers for a second layer, your flight controller, are included. So I did a bit of an insert into the video here. It's a bit messy like this. Sorry about that. When you can also see that I've gone ahead and painted up things. But what I wanted to add to the video was that this here is your PDB that's supplied with the frame, and it sits on little O-rings. rising it off of this aluminium anodized piece. And on top of those go the risers or the standoffs for your flight controller. So with that all said and done, I really have nothing negative to say about this frame. By the way, the frame is 125 grams like this, so with the PDB ready to go. And yes, let's get back to the rest of the video. Now if we have a look at the bottom, the four arms, which are held on by 3 screws each, and stress risers, well, they actually gone ahead and widened the arms a little at the spots over here. So they did take in account that there might be a little more stress on the arms, or more stress. There's not more stress on the arms over there, but the arms would be weakened by the holes for the screws. So yeah, they went ahead and widened the arm over here a little, which is pretty smart, very nice. Now let's have a look at the upper structure as well. Again, that gummy piece protecting your FPV camera and isolating your HD camera from vibrations. We already mentioned how your FPV camera is to be mounted. And over here at the rear you've got a spot to mount the FPV antenna securely in the frame. So in a crash your FPV antenna won't be ripped off. Yeah, maybe your antenna will be ripped off, but the FPV transmitter itself will be protected that way, which is nice. This room in the center section of the frame to mount your PDB and flight controller, it does not allow for more room than 2 layers. So if you, for instance, have a video transmitter that you'd want to stack into there, you don't have enough clearance at the top. Inside of the frame you've got room for a receiver and a video transmitter, but not for another layer in the size of a standard PDB like this. So be aware of that. Let's see. Ah yeah, one of the really nice surprises I had, that LED board at the rear of the frame over here has a built-in buzzer. That's a bonus. I had actually ordered up some buzzers for this build and another build, but that's not needed. This I'm not sure if it's visible, but over here you've got yourself a buzzer, which is very nice, of course. Now let's get the frame back together a little again. Now, one of the reasons for me choosing this frame is that you have the option of mounting your battery on top of the frame, which is probably what I'll end up doing, but you can also mount the battery at the bottom, so that's very flexible. At the start of the video I showed you a few rubber pieces that you can mount on the bottom, protecting your battery. So yeah, that really leaves you with those 2 options, which is very nice, I think. Very thoughtful. So that's about it. That's my look at this frame. In the next video we will be taking a look at the power system I will be using in this quadcopter. So the ESCs, PDB, I probably won't be using the included PDB. And the motors, of course, propellers. So that'll be coming up pretty soon. Stay tuned for that. For now, if you have any questions, hit me up a comment down below and I'll be happy to answer your questions. And thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.